Welcome to Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? This is your go-to source for practical advice and support when considering if a divorce is the right answer for you. Join us each weekday for a quick chat where we'll uncover a variety of topics such as child custody, property division, and self-care. Together, we'll explore the emotional, financial, and legal aspects of divorce and help you find the best path forward for you and your family. Here is your host and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst professional, Mike Fulkerson.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today we're going to be tackling a tough one, and that is how to handle a difficult spouse when you're considering a divorce. You know, let's face it, divorce is rarely easy, and a difficult spouse can make it even harder. Their behavior might be emotionally charged, where they show anger, blame, manipulation, or perhaps they're evasive, withdrawing, refusing to communicate, and sometimes they get even obstructive, trying to stall the process or make things difficult financially. It's important to remember that you really can't control their behavior, so you have to rely on controlling yours. So, when we have a difficult spouse, what can we do? Well, let's look at some strategies here to help you navigate the situation. We got to start with communication, and we're going to focus on that one because we want to be clear, concise. We don't want to, we want to avoid accusatory language. We don't want to put them in a position of being defensive, if you will. If they're shutting down, consider writing things down, email, texts, whatever you can to have the communication necessary to get through the process. Also, going to probably want to set some boundaries. Don't engage in emotional outbursts. Let them know what behavior is acceptable and what isn't to you. You have a right to be spoken to in the way that you want, and they have, really need to accept that. You're going to want to protect yourself as well. You gather all the important financial documents. Consider separate bank accounts if necessary. But really, you're going to want to get all this stuff in order, and you want to have it before they start maybe trying stall tactics. And then seek support. Talk therapy is a great thing. If you have a therapist or a counselor, that's great. If you don't, a therapist or counselor will help you cope with the emotional toll. And then you can also lean on trusted friends and family to get you through this really tough situation. Now, the divorce process has a lot of nuances, a lot of things with the state laws and stuff. I always recommend you look at getting a divorce attorney. They can be a very valuable asset to your team, and they're going to help you they're going to help be your guide through the legal process, and they're going to know your rights. And that's important. So you know what you can do and what you can't do, especially if you have a spouse who isn't participating in the divorce process all that well. And the lawyer is also going to advocate for you in court if necessary and help you mediate communication with your spouse through their attorney or just with your spouse to begin with. So don't underestimate the importance of having someone experienced in your corner, because it can make a world of difference. In addition to that, we're going to have a lot of extra stress here. And so taking care of yourself is going to be critical during this challenging time. Do some enjoyable activities you like, whether it's things like exercise or hobbies or spending time with loved ones. You got to get good sleep and you got to eat well. And then, as we mentioned before, there's also therapy. So if you don't have a therapist, you might consider getting a therapist to help you get through this time. You're not alone. I think it's important that you know this, and there are resources available to help you navigate the difficult situation. Part of it is just learning what you can and can't do. And remember, the goal here isn't to inflame the situation further, but to protect yourself and move forward with the divorce process as smoothly as you can. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? Should you have any questions on today's topic, please reach out to me or leave a comment. Divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. Until next time, take care. Hey there, and welcome back to Breaking Ties is Divorce the Answer. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today, we're going to talk about something pretty critical during a difficult time, and that is managing stress when considering divorce. Really, we got to start with understanding divorce stress. I mean, divorce is a major life change, and it's natural to feel stressed, overwhelmed, and even a little scared. You might experience a range of emotions: sadness, anger, guilt, confusion, and these are all valid. And acknowledging them is the first step towards managing them. So, when we look at stress management strategies, we got some tools that we can use to help us manage the stress during this challenging time. And first is self care, and that's prioritizing your sleep, healthy eating, and regular exercise. And then we got relaxation techniques. Practice deep breathing, meditation, or yoga to calm your mind and body. Don't forget our social support, which is leaning on trusted friends and family. Consider joining a divorce support group to connect with people who understand your situation. Some people can journal, writing down your thoughts and feelings to process them in a healthy way. And there's also professional help. I mean, don't hesitate to seek help from a therapist or counselor. They can equip you with coping mechanisms and guide you through the emotional roller coaster. Now, when we do express emotions, we got to do it in some kind of healthy way. And so it's important to find healthy outlets. And some ideas might be creative expression. I mean, explore activities like painting, writing, or playing music. Exercise, physical activity is a great way to release stress and boost your mood. And then volunteering, helping others can give you a sense of purpose and perspective. But in the end, we're going to have to set some boundaries as well. And they're pretty important during the divorce to protect your emotional well-being. So this might involve limiting communication with your spouse, especially if it becomes unproductive or stressful. Remember, it's okay to say no to requests that drain your energy. So remember, taking care of yourself throughout this process is vital. By prioritizing your mental and physical health, you'll be better equipped to handle the challenges ahead and the decisions that are coming your way. There's no shame in reaching out for help. Remember, you're not alone in this. People enjoy helping you. It's going to do it for this episode of Breaking Ties is Divorce the Answer. Should you have any questions, reach out, leave a comment. Divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. And with that, all the best. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Breaking Ties is Divorce the Answer. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today's topic is rehabilitative maintenance, also known as spousal maintenance for a limited time, let's say. Now, we're going to take a look at this in this episode and explore if it's the right option for you. We're going to start with really just understanding rehabilitative maintenance and what it means. And it's really a court-ordered financial award paid by one spouse to the other for a specific period of time. The goal is to help the receiving spouse become self-sufficient after the divorce. Now, this type of support is typically awarded when there's a significant difference in earning power between the spouses. Maybe you stayed at home to raise the children, or lack the opportunity to pursue higher education or career advancement during the marriage. Rehabilitative maintenance can help you bridge the gap while you complete a degree or training program, re-enter the workforce after a long absence, or develop new job skills or update existing ones. So we look at this, and then how do you know if you qualify for rehabilitative maintenance? Now, whether you qualify for it depends on several factors considered by the court. And some of these factors might include the length of your marriage, your age and health, your job skills and education level, the earning potential of both spouses, and the needs of any children involved. It's important to consult with a divorce attorney to understand your specific situation, and the likelihood of receiving rehabilitative maintenance. I mean, you want to get some good information there. You don't want to waste your time, and you do want to make sure that it's the right thing for you. And a divorce attorney could be the way to go. Now, there are all alternatives. So rehabilitative maintenance isn't the only option. You might consider negotiating a lump sum settlement in lieu of ongoing support, or dividing marital assets in a way that allows you greater financial independence. Now, we got some benefits and there's some drawbacks of the rehabilitative maintenance. And let's weigh some of these pros and cons. Benefits: it provides financial stability while you gain skills or education for a better job. Not bad. Drawbacks: it can create financial dependence, on your ex-spouse for a period. The receiving spouse is responsible for making the most of the support to achieve self-sufficiency. And ultimately, the decision of whether to pursue rehabilitative maintenance is a personal one. And you're just going to want to consider a few things. One, your long-term financial goals and career aspirations, your ability and commitment to pursuing education or training, and the potential impact on your ex-spouse's finances. And like I said before, really, a qualified divorce attorney can guide you through the legal nuances and help you determine if it's the right path for you. And if you do have to go to court, they'll be able to represent and negotiate the terms of support. Divorce is a complex process and financial considerations are really a big part of it. So don't hesitate to seek the legal advice to ensure that, your rights are protected and you know what you can expect from the court system itself. And that's going to do it today. I would like to thank you for joining us on Breaking Ties Is Divorce the Answer? Should you have any questions, feel free to drop me a line or leave them in the comment section. Divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. And with that, have a good day. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Breaking Ties Is Divorce the Answer? I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today we're going to dive into a term you might encounter during a divorce, and that is QDRO. Now, what is a QDRO? So QDRO, which is spelled QDRO, stands for Qualified Domestic Relations Order. It's a court order that specifically deals with dividing retirement assets like 401ks or pension plans. And, you're going to have it as part of your divorce settlement. Now, here's the key. Federal law prevents retirement plans from simply paying out benefits to someone other than the plan participant, which would be your spouse in this case, without a QDRO in place. So I think we kind of already understand the importance perhaps, but let's say, your spouse has a sizable retirement account and the court awards you a portion of it in the divorce settlement. Without the QDRO, you wouldn't be able to directly access those funds. So how does it work? So, a QDRO essentially instructs the retirement plan administrator on how to divide the benefits. So it's going to specify things like the exact amount or percentage of your spouse's benefits to be paid to you, how the benefits will be paid out as a lump sum, in installments, or rolled over into an IRA in your name, and any survivor benefits that may be affected. So how do you get a QDRO? Your divorce attorney will typically draft the QDRO based on the court's decision regarding your spouse's retirement accounts. Then both the court and the plan administrator need to approve the QDRO for it to be valid. And we don't want to get away from talking about retirement accounts and without chatting about tax implications. So do we have any issues with a QDRO and taxes? Well, it's important that, really you're aware of potential tax implications associated with receiving retirement funds through a QDRO. They are generally considered taxable income with some exceptions. You're going to want to consult with a tax advisor for specifics related to your situation. However, if you do roll it over to an IRA, generally speaking, there aren't going to be any tax issues because it's a like-to-like account. Now, a QDRO does ensure a fair and legal division of retirement assets in divorce. It protects your rights and allows you to access the portion awarded to you. It also helps avoid complications or delays with your spouse's retirement plan. It's pretty complex, and the process itself is complex, and the document has to be written in a certain way. So I recommend you meet with an experienced divorce attorney who can guide you through the process, and make sure the QDRO is drafted correctly and represent you if there's any issues with obtaining approval from the court or the plan administrator. Divorce can involve many financial considerations, and retirement assets are a significant one. A QDRO could be a valuable tool to ensure a fair and legal division of those assets. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties Is Divorce the Answer? Should you have any questions, let me know, or feel free to leave a comment. Divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. And with that, have yourself a great day. Hey there, and welcome back to Breaking Ties Is Divorce the Answer? I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today we're going to take on a question that pops up pretty frequently, and that is, when exactly will I have to appear in court during the divorce process? And to understand a little bit about court appearances, we got to break down the types of divorces, if you will. So there's contested versus uncontested divorce. And in an uncontested divorce, you and your spouse agree on everything. Child custody if you have kids, division of assets and debts, spousal support if needed, the whole package. This is a much smoother process, and court appearances are often minimal. You might just need to be present for the final approval by the judge. Now, a contested divorce is when you and your spouse can't really see eye to eye on some or all of the above issues. And this is where the court appearances become more likely. So when we look at court appearances in a contested divorce, you and likely your spouse will probably have to appear in court for several hearings before the final ruling. And these hearings might address things like temporary custody arrangements and child support while the divorce is ongoing, presenting evidence and arguments for property division and spousal support, mediation updates, and if the court orders mediation, to try and reach agreements. The final hearing is where the judge makes the final decisions on all unresolved issues and grants the divorce. So how do we mitigate court appearances? I mean, while court appearances are more common in contested divorces, there's two ways to minimize them. One is mediation. A neutral third party can facilitate communication and help you reach agreements, reducing the need for court-ordered solutions. And then there's collaborative divorce. Lawyers from both sides work together with you and your spouse to find solutions outside of the courtroom. Remember, even in contested divorces, reaching agreements before hearings can significantly reduce your court time. So now, this podcast doesn't give legal advice ever, kind of thing, but, I always recommend consulting with a divorce attorney, especially in a contested case. They can give you, information about the legal process, represent you in court, and help you navigate the complexities of the divorce itself, because there's going to be a lot of moving parts going on. So every divorce is unique, and court appearances will depend on specific situation, but hopefully this episode has shed some light on when they might be necessary. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties Is Divorce the Answer? Should you have any questions, let me know. Leave a comment. Happy to see what you have to say. Divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. Until next time, have a great day.